Hi there, thank you for watching this video. I promise you watch this video to the end and we're gonna get right to the point. You're gonna be able to grab onto some specific concrete elements that address a major challenge going on out there. Something that has been taught to entrepreneurs and creators and leaders for years, and it capitalizes on one of their greatest strengths, and yet it is creating tremendous challenges. Oftentimes for many of us, it is that thing that was holding us back from creating the very things we wanted to be able to create by using this technique in the first place. Now, my name is Paul Blanchard, and I'm the president of the Mandino Leadership Institute. I've been a coach and a consultant for over a decade, worked in so many different industries with titans of industry, from the most iconic CEO in American history, Jack Welch, and helping him build his executive MBA program, to now running the official Mandino company. Mandino, one of the greatest authors and teachers of all time, who wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, sold over 25 million copies. And I wanted to sit down here in the Habit Finder headquarters, right here in my office, where we could sit down and talk about what I feel are some really important things for you to understand about dream boards, vision boards. There's a number of different uses for these, and we've been taught to use these things. And now first, let me make clear, I'm a fan. I'm not anti-dream board, anti-vision board. What I'm not a fan of is what usually happens when they're used incorrectly, and over 90% of the clients we've worked with have been using them incorrectly. That's scientifically researched here. With over 100,000 clients we've worked with, over 90% use dream boards or vision boards, or even sometimes their goals, to work against them. And I just want to give you 4 simple check-ins to make sure you're using your dream board, your vision board, your goals correctly. A test, if you will, that if you're building the right dreams and they pass this test, that the likelihood you're going to be able to create them increases exponentially. But without understanding these 4 things and checking on these 4 things, the likelihood that they won't be created, that we'll continue to feel like we're starting back at that infamous square one, right? Where we feel like we've taken a lunge and taken as much effort as we could, and the consistency wasn't there, the system didn't work right, we pick a whole bunch of holes in it, we get frustrated, we give up, whether we give up for the morning or for the afternoon or for the day, or we give up for longer than that. And then finally we dust ourselves off and it's back at it again, continually looking out of the corner of our eye at people who seemingly are creating it with less effort, who are seemingly actually seeing the things on their vision board, their dream board, come to fruition. So we know it works. We know that this concept works, and yet we haven't been able to figure out why it's not working for us. Well, here's the 4 things you're going to want to consider. Okay, let's get right into this. Number 1, now these are words that I'm going to add context to. So when you first hear the word, don't semantically dismiss it and say, oh yeah, that's frou-frou, or I've heard this before. No, we're going to build a construction of the word so that it means more than it may have meant to you before today. The first thing you're going to want to do before using a vision board or a dream board or setting any goal, when you start to identify it and shape it, is ask yourself these 4 questions. 1, does this goal, does this dream I'm putting on this board to look at every day, does it inspire me? Now, sounds simple enough. Inspiration is a buzzword that has been beaten to death for decades. I get that. But here's what I mean by inspire you. To inspire means to breathe life into. Does your dream, does your specific goal, because remember, dream boards, vision boards, goals should be specific. It's not just about being more successful. It's that specific house that you want. Or it's that car you'd like to be driving. It's that dollar figure you'd like to make monthly or annually, or the passive income you want to generate, the industry it could come from, the places you would travel. It's specific. So as you start to paint that picture, and as entrepreneurs, we can do this vividly. It is a powerful gift that we're given, that over 90% of us have at a very high level. All of us can do it, but over 90% of us can do it effortlessly as entrepreneurs and creators. We've measured these things, but 98% are not doing it to be inspired. They may feel what they think is inspiration, but it's more often excitement or some kind of stimulation that is counterfeit inspiration. So how do you know if it's inspiring you? It's breathing life into you. And when life is breathed into you, just like when you get some oxygen after being under the water for a while, clarity increases, your brain function increases. You can see things more clearly that have now prepared you to dive into the details. That is where you know you're not being inspired by your dream board or your vision board or your goals, is because it's all big picture. It's all what it would feel like when it is created, rather than diving into the millimeters. You know it is inspiring you when it is inspiring you to get into the details. Because now, through inspiration, the details matter more. That's number one. Before you put anything on your dream board or your vision board, or you set it as a goal for this year, ask yourself, does this inspire me? And to what end does it inspire me? Into the details, into the millimeters that the big picture version of us would like to think is too complicated. We're not quite sure how to do it. Or we don't know where to start. Trust me, you have a lot more available to you, a lot more capacity and ability than you realize when you tap into this piece of being truly inspired and not just excited or stimulated. Number two, does it encourage you? Encourage, N-E-N, add to, core, heart, or blood. Does it add to your heart? Think about courage. Think about when courage is required. It's oftentimes when we're asked to step outside of our comfort zone, which is a really difficult place to be because your brain is built to keep you there. It wants you to be in a comfort zone. It wants you to be safe. Unfortunately, your brain's interpretation of safe is predictable. So it doesn't make it very comfortable very often, especially when we want to grow our potential. Your brain doesn't want to grow its potential. It wants life to be safe and predictable. So understanding you're fighting that biology, you're fighting that chemistry, is the reason courage is required. Before you put anything on your dream board or your vision board or make a goal, is it making you courageous? Not because you suddenly feel like you can take on the world. We can all do that until we actually do it. Like Mike Tyson said, we all have a plan until we get punched in the face. We can all be excited until Monday morning shows up, right? Or the first rejection shows up, or the first thing that doesn't go the way we saw it in our head. That's where the courage kicks in. Is it real enough to have you doing things you wouldn't have done otherwise without that vision, without that dream? Does it have enough of that depth to be able to call on things that you hadn't tapped into before when it is most difficult to do so? So ask yourself, before you put anything up there or set that goal, is this going to encourage me? Are the things that I know I didn't do in 2017 that I know I want to do in 2018, am I going to have the courage to step up and do them even when I don't feel like doing them? That's why you want to be encouraged, so that you can sustain your commitment with action in spite of how you might be feeling, and that requires courage. So does it encourage you? Number three, does it foster abundance? Now, if you're putting things up on your dream board, your vision board, you're setting goals that is self-centric, selfishly driven, and it's because of how you'll be seen if you're in those things. It's because of what you would, be able to do for yourself in those things. You're missing the opportunity to create a worthy dream, and you will have a very difficult path, an uphill battle in skis through a mudslide to be able to create that dream. And so you want to focus on abundance. It's okay to have things that you want. It doesn't always have to be, giving to charities and building orphanages in India and whatever. Those can certainly be your dreams, and those can just as well be stimulations and not inspiration, and can be big picture fantasies rather than encouraging goals where courage is required and abundance is essential. You'll want to pursue these things so that you can share them. If you want a bigger house, want the bigger house so that you can invite people into your home and serve them and enjoy their company, or your own family, or whatever the case is. Create a mentality of abundance. Don't use abundance to disqualify things, because too often we focus on the altruistic, okay? We focus on the utopian goals rather than some of the things that could really drive us, like money and cars and house and successful businesses. Those things are okay to want, as long as they inspire you, they encourage you, and they foster abundance. You want to share them. Now, number 4 happens as a natural result of the other 3. If you have diligently gone through this checklist before setting your goals on your dream board or your vision board, or setting your New Year's resolutions or whatever they are, and you've checked in, does this inspire me? This doesn't just excite me. This gets me focused on details. Does this encourage me? Does this seem to add an extra spine and work ethic and drive to what I'm doing, so that when I come face to face with the things I might have rationalized or avoided or tried to get somebody else to do or been frustrated by, do I charge forward? That's encouragement. And does this foster abundance? Do I want these things so that I can share them? So I can share in the wealth and the success of what I want to create. Then number 4 happens naturally, but it is essential to be consciously aware of, and that is, does it inspire you, encourage you, foster abundance, and create an embrace of structure? As creators and entrepreneurs, we aren't necessarily the best friends with structure. Intellectually, we like structure, but we have scientifically measured that 96% of entrepreneurs, creators, intrinsically resist structure. We know that it can help us, and yet when it comes time to implementation, we're looking for the next system, the next tool. We have a hard time sticking to it. Life is crazy, multitasking, busy, chaos, etc. There's a number of different things that can play out, but it comes from an intrinsic resistance to structure. And when we have things in place that inspire us, encourage us, foster abundance, we can then more consciously and consistently embrace the structure required to get there. Not because we feel like it is the meticulous, boring, mundane, repetitious work. It doesn't feel like that. It might have felt like that before, but now we're inspired. Now we have courage. And now we're doing it for more than just ourselves. We're ready for that structure that can get us there. So these are the 4 things that I'd like you to check in with. If you're a dream board person, a vision board, or you just set goals. If you're not any of those things, you're going to want to consider adopting some of those things to give more direction, more concrete, tangible direction to what you're wanting to create. Whether it's a dream board or something you wrote in your journal or everything in between, and check in with these 4 things. Now, one of the challenges of all of this is that you're the one who creates your dreams. But what kind of challenges are you going to run into that you're going to want that inspiration for, that you're going to want that encouraging force for, that you're going to want to be focused on fostering abundance and structure for? I mentioned 96% of entrepreneurs resist structure. How do we know that? We know that because we have a proprietary technology that we've honed with over 100,000 of our clients, that has taken thousands of hours of research. And get this, it allows us to measure the way you think, your thought processes, not the philosophy of what you think, the actual neurological firing of your brain in 36 specific areas, proven to basically incorporate every way that we process our outer world and our inner world. And people that are looking to do the deep work, this tool is revolutionizing everything. This technology is allowing people not to crack the code. There's plenty of books out there talking about cracking codes in personal development and growth and business and startups and everything in between. It will teach you how to crack your code, because there are over 6 quadrillion variables involved in this assessment. And get this, we live in a microwave society, which is perfect for this tool because it only takes you about 10 minutes. There are no questions. You can't manipulate it. And it's going to tell you, with the assistance of an expert, a trained expert, how these thought processes are impacting your life. What are the risks? What are the things we're missing out on? And how are they playing off of each other? Now, we deliver the results in as simple of a format as possible so that you can start to take it in. But the deep work, the things that can make an impact on bringing that vision board, that dream board to life, That's something we want you to experience with a trained expert, and that's the gift I'd like to give you for free. Thank you for watching this entire video, and I hope that even if you don't go on to take the Habit Finder, this profile that measures these 6 quadrillion variables of the way you think and delivers it in a simple enough report for you to dive into your own code, your own hidden habits of thinking. Because a very, very smart, famous scientist by the name of Albert Einstein once said, and I'm paraphrasing, the mind cannot solve a problem that it created itself. We would like to help you solve some of those problems you haven't yet discovered are there. Those glass ceilings that are so irritating to continue to run into, and we feel like we just need to try harder to get through them, and yet that depletes our energy, so we have to wait until we're ready to try harder again, rather than finding the consistent vitality of success. Being able to discover what it is about where your next step should be. Rather than the hundreds of people you've read about, rather than the tons of people that you've heard about, what is yours? You can find that in the Habit Finder, and it is yours for free for watching this video. The Habit Finder alone is normally $99. Meeting with one of my Habit Finder specialists we've charged anywhere from $99 to $300 for that in the past. You get that for free. Take the Habit Finder, visit with one of my trained experts. You're going to get their valuable time with no strings attached. This is the model we've had for 17 years. We show up and serve, and those who are ready to take it further, make that decision. We don't make it for you. And then we show up and serve, and those who aren't, we still serve them, and so they end up coming back later. Or maybe that's all they needed. Maybe that's all you need. Maybe this is the answer to the questions that you've been asking, or even more profound, the questions you haven't been asking yet. Either way, you're going to want to see what your code is, your hidden habits of thinking. As a thank you for this video, you get it for free. I look forward to having one of my specialists spend time with you to open up your world to what's possible when you understand the very elements that are creating your reality on a scientific level, where we're able to marry science and intuition to be able to measure your thoughts, show you how to master your habits, and multiply your income to create what's on your dream boards, your vision boards, your goals. Thank you. We look forward to this journey with you.